The South China Sea, a bustling artery of global trade, with oil tankers, container ships, and fishing vessels crossing turquoise waters. But storm clouds gather, foreshadowing crisis. Waves crash against the fragile reefs of the Spratlys. The skies darken, thunder rolls in the distance. Nature mirrors the rising tension among nations. Breaking news flashes across screens. China declares a DIZ over the Spratlys. Crowds gather in Manila and Hanoi, their faces filled with fear and uncertainty. At the United Nations, delegates from the Philippines and Vietnam rise in protest, voices loud and determined as the world watches the storm of diplomacy unfold. Cutting through the sea, the Chinese aircraft carrier Shandong leads more than 60 warships, a display of power and intent that shakes the region. On deck, the Lhasa destroyer bristles with missiles, its massive radar spinning relentlessly, scanning the horizon for threats. Beneath the waves, a silent Type 093 submarine glides like a predator, torpedo tubes primed, listening for the enemy above. From the deck of the Shandong, J-15 fighters scream into the sky, afterburners blazing, armed with deadly anti-ship missiles. Across the sea, the USS Carl Vinson powers forward, its own fleet in formation, aircraft lined on deck, ready to respond at a moment's notice. Inside the USS Princeton, radar screens light up with dozens of signals, the Aegis system tracking every potential threat in the skies and sea. Deep underwater, the USS Illinois, a Virginia-class submarine, prowls in silence, its sonar crews listening for the faintest sign of Chinese movement. On the surface, the USS Sterett deploys sonar buoys, sound waves echoing through the sea in search of hostile subs. The USNS Guadalupe conducts a vital replenishment at sea. Fuel hoses stretched across waves, ensuring the American fleet remains supplied and ready. On the Vinson's bridge, Colonel John Harper studies radar screens, tension etched on his face as he considers the risks of every decision. Aboard the Shandong, Admiral Wang Lele feels the crushing weight of Beijing's orders: assert dominance, but avoid sparking war. At Scarborough Shoal, Filipino fisherman Jose stares at distant silhouettes of warships, worry for his family and livelihood written on his face. Around the world, markets react. Oil prices spike. Citizens from Manila to Hanoi watch anxiously, knowing their lives could change overnight. In the skies, a P-8A Poseidon reconnaissance plane glides over turquoise waters, its cameras capturing every move below. Inside the Poseidon, monitors reveal 6 J-15 fighters launching from the Shandong, missiles hanging ominously under their wings. On the Vinson, 4 FA-18 Super Hornets thunder into the skies, engines roaring as they climb into the clouds, ready to intercept. At her sonar console, young sailor Sarah Miller grips the controls tightly, whispering her fears as the weight of possible war bears down on her. In the South China Sea, Vietnam's KN-505 patrol ship steams toward Mischief Reef, its crew braced for confrontation. From Okinawa, a Japanese P-3 Sea Orion patrol aircraft takes off, its sensors primed to watch every movement in contested waters. In the Malacca Strait, an Indian destroyer slices through sunset waters, helicopters standing ready for launch on deck. In Vladivostok, Russian officers monitor giant tactical screens, observing the clash of fleets with growing unease. By noon, U.S. radar operators confirm the Chinese fleet has closed within 250 kilometers, the stage set for a deadly confrontation. In a U.S. cockpit, alarm lights flash red. The Lhasa destroyer has locked fire control radar on an American Hornet, a direct threat. Meanwhile, deep beneath the surface, the USS Illinois detects a Type 093 submarine only 40 kilometers away, dangerously close. Two MH-60R Seahawks skim the waves, releasing sonar buoys to hunt the lurking submarine below. Suddenly, the Aegis combat system aboard USS Princeton glitches. Alarms blare. Officers scramble to restore its defenses in time. Confusion grows as sonar misidentifies a pod of whales as enemy submarines, costing the U.S. fleet precious seconds. High above, Chinese J-15s close within 20 kilometers of American Hornets. Engines roaring, missiles armed, pilots' hands trembling on triggers. The Lhasa fires decoy signals into the air. Radar screens fill with false targets, blinding U.S. systems in a storm of electronic warfare. On the Vinson, communications officers fight off a cyber attack, red warnings flashing across consoles as systems strain under assault. Admiral Wang Lele slumps in exhaustion on the Shandong bridge, torn between pressure from Beijing and fear of catastrophe. In a bold maneuver, the USS Carl Vinson cuts across the Shandong's path, massive hulls threatening collision as crews brace for impact. The South China Sea has always been more than just water. It is a lifeline of trade, where a single disruption sends shockwaves through global markets. For the Philippines and Vietnam, the Spratlys are not just islands, but sovereignty itself, and their defiance at the United Nations reflects decades of frustration, a reminder that this struggle is deeply rooted in history. As Chinese warships surge forward, the sheer scale is overwhelming. Yet beneath the surface, the true contest begins. Every submarine ping, every sonar echo is a test of nerves. For both fleets, the ocean becomes a chessboard where silence and patience are as powerful as missiles and jets. On the Vinson's bridge, Colonel Harper feels not just the responsibility of his crew, but the weight of allies depending on him. For sailors like Sarah Miller, this deployment is more than duty. It is the moment theory becomes reality, when drills give way to the possibility of war. And for Jose, the fisherman, each passing warship is a reminder that his family's safety is tied to decisions made far beyond his village. When radars lock and warning lights flash, time itself feels slower, every second stretching like an hour. Pilots breathe heavily inside sealed cockpits, knowing that one mistake, one miscalculation, could be the spark history will never forget. Technology is tested, but so too are human limits. Fear, fatigue, and instinct clashing in a theater where precision matters most. As the fleets finally ease apart, the silence of retreat does not mean peace. Both sides claim victory. Both sides gather intelligence, and both know this fragile calm cannot last forever. For the world, the standoff is a warning. The oceans are no longer just highways of trade, but battlegrounds where future wars may ignite. And for those who watch closely, the lesson is clear. In the South China Sea, power is measured not only in missiles and carriers, but in patience, resilience, and the will to stand firm. You've been watching U.S. Navy Watch. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more in-depth analysis of U.S. naval power, maritime security, and global military affairs.